What's happening, people? It's your boy Jules, aka Juls Baby. I am a producer and a DJ, and this is my music custodian session.
Juls Baby.
Growing up, there was a lot of jazz music in the house. There was a lot of reggae in the house. Because my dad is like a massive jazz fan, has all of these albums on vinyl and CDs. And my mom just loves reggae music, so Jimmy Cliff, Johnny Nash, Bob Marley. And then highlife, which is, from Ghana. CK Man, Kudra Entry, Daddy Lumba, Papa Yankson. So many. These are some of the artists that were, kind of like being played during my childhood. And obviously, as I got older, I started, listening to things my way. Hip hop and R&B. Still a lot of dancehall and reggae music. I think mine was more reggae music, so I grew up on like Buju Banton and Capleton and all those guys as well. So that's kind of like my early, I guess, introduction to soundscapes and what I've been listening to and how it kind of like shaped how I even make music in general. House music was kind of like a lot later, like in my teens and stuff, so yeah.
Make I give you shit up, make your life she big like Lobo. Make I upgrade your life, make your life be sweet like.
Well, East London is a very interesting place. But a lot of things were born there. Grime was born in East London. And it's full of, different. I mean, London is full of different cultures anyway, so you're going to be exposed to different cultures. Whether you're black, white, Indian, Asian, you have to adapt to all those cultures. So that, I guess, is what kind of like made me a bit more, I guess, understanding of different cultures. When I was in school, I was one of the few black people in class. We had Indian friends and we had friends from different parts of Africa. A lot of my black friends were Jamaican. And then when I was a teen and we moved to Ghana, I was just exposed to the real, I guess, identity of where, my family is from. That's when I was actually introduced to highlife music and stuff. And I guess that's kind of like that's where my musical journey was born. I started getting interested in kind of like listening to music a lot more, trying my hands at it, whether it was, every kid used to rap. Not everybody was great. But, that was kind of like, Ghana, I listened to highlife and hip life and, making beats. I always wanted to emulate those type of styles. And then just kind of like add my own touch to it. But in terms of like, it's the best of both. I believe those are the best of both worlds, being from the UK, being Ghanaian as well. It's, different exposures to different sides of the world, whether it's the Western world or whether you're going back home to the motherland. For me, when I go back home to Ghana, it's just kind of like a reset and, tapping in with family. And, just kind of like staying true to, your roots and identity. The UK is really just, a place. I don't want to say for survival, but that's where I was born and raised. And it's given me the ability to learn a lot of different things from a different perspective in life. So. So when I was in uni, somebody installed a digital workstation on my laptop This is when I had an Acer laptop. It was for school, it was for work. But I installed FL Studio on it. The guy installed it on my laptop because he didn't have a laptop. So when I wasn't using my laptop, he would use it, to make, beats and stuff. And I just used to watch all the time, and I was like, maybe I should, pick it up and then start, trying a thing. So one day I just, started trying my hands at it. And I ended up being pretty good. With time, started doing like research online, getting all sorts of drum kits and sounds to be able to kind of like, make a few more stronger ideas with bass lines and keys and whatnot, because I'm not an instrumentalist. And then I started sampling. And I started sampling a lot of the old soul samples that you would hear in records by Kanye West or Pete Rock or Jay Dilla. So I was trying to emulate their styles. And with time, I got pretty good at it. But then it was like, I needed my own identity, my own sound. So I started sampling a lot of Ghanaian highlife music and a lot of African music, but it was still like boom bap, hip hop music. And then I think one day I had a call from a man by the name of Panji Anoff, who's kind of like somebody who's very, very instrumental in my journey of making beats, where he said, you need to find somebody who you can make music with for you guys to grow together. And so, I never had any thought of doing commercial music when I started messing around with my drum kits, and because I love dancehall so much, I was trying to kind of like blend dancehall with Afro as well. And I was able to make all those ideas. And then I started making all these records with your Mr. Easy's and your Burna Boys and your One Day Calls, because I was putting beat tapes out all the time, so people were aware I was making beats as well. So yeah, that's kind of like how things really started. But over a time span of maybe 5-6 years. I think we definitely earned an era in the modern Afrobeats world. We definitely had a strong run from like 2014, 2016, 17-ish. Definitely a great time for Afrobeats as well, because there was so much good music at the time, and I do remember a lot of people wanting to mimic or try and emulate the sound, but they couldn't. Some people did, but if you know where everything came from. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, that was an era in modern day Afrobeats that if you really had Afrobeats head, then you can't leave that out of history. So yeah, that was a good time for sure. Yeah.
Zagadat.
This is Bankulize. I said Bankulize. I'm crying. I'm joking. So Bankulize came to life when I remixed a record that Mr. Easy had out already called Bankulize. Because what I was doing at the time was I was just kind of like searching online for artists that I wanted to work with. And I came across Mr. Easy, who was, kind of doing the music thing, but it wasn't that serious. So I was like, yo, that acapella of your mixtape, can you send it to me? So he sent it to me, and then I remade, Bankulize, which is the one that everybody knows. I got Papi Kujo from Ghana on the remix as well. And then that's kind of like how things started to begin. I think people were more concerned or wondering what kind of sound it is, because it's not something like you've heard on a regular basis, right? Or it's just something fresh. So we had that, and that built. Then it was Skin Tight. So Mr. Easy sent me this a cappella of an idea that he had for a song. And then I mixed it. The day I made Skin Tight was the day that I thought Arsenal was going to win the league because we beat Leicester City 2-1 in the last minute. It was Danny Welbeck who scored, and he ran into the crowd, and I was so gassed. And then after that, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna make some beats. And then that was the day I made Skin Tight. The only beauty is Skin Tight became a hit and Arsenal didn't win the league. But, you know, next season. Yeah.
I thought ginger you make we Bankulize. Ginger you make we Bankulize.
We definitely had any challenges because that sound when it came out, it was pretty much commercial anyways. We were on radio, we were on the clubs, heavy rotation. All the records that we did are like Afrobeats, classics or moments, so we didn't really have a problem with the commercial aspect of things at all. I think the beauty of what our music was is that it just didn't sound like commercial music. It became commercial music because it was popular. And that's when everybody tried to, do, similar sounds. The Nigerians call it a different sound. We call it something else. But it was just good music, at the time. And yeah, it opened the doors for so many other artists to reach out to me to, Jules, let's get in the studio. So I was getting hit up by so many artists that I reached out to in the past, but I just wasn't there yet, level-wise. So yeah, that was it really. Yeah.
I go do your body like Skin Tight. Where I go do it by your side. 10 times when I don't get to see.
Maybe Skin Tight and Submit Soft in the Afrobeats perspective because of how popular they were, and I was gaining a lot of, traction and attention, particularly in Nigeria, to a point where, till this day, people still think that I am Nigerian because I had made a lot of records, or I have made a lot of records with a lot of them. But yeah, Skin Tight and Submit Soft for sure were definitely the turning points in the African Afrobeat space, just because of how unique and different those sounds were. Normally, people, want to assign a certain sound to a producer thinking that, oh, this sounds like this person or this sounds like that. But they were two different vibes, but they still kind of like had the Juls sauce in it. So yeah, those were kind of like the most important, I guess, moments. Only because Skin Tight was so popular, every single label wanted to sign it. But we stuck to our guns and we released it independent, so.
When I go do you, basa, baby, trust in me. When you give your heart to me.
Sensational. Just so that it feels a little bit raw and natural. I just feel like you want to create a listening experience for whoever's listening to the music to kind of like feel the music a bit more. So I like to add very interesting textures, whether it's like bird sounds or it's water or ocean or, forest sounds, crickets and all of that stuff. Just to make it feel like it's actually very natural. And yeah, it takes, when you listen to those type of sounds in general, it just takes your mind to, a different place. There's so many massive playlists that have all of these nature sounds. When you slap it on, it's just kind of like a feel of tranquility. So yeah, that's why I like to add all of those type of things in there. And I guess from an analog perspective, I don't record my music in analog, but I just have ways in editing and mixing my music to make it have that feel. So,
Come get this good. Come get this good love. Come get this good.
Just to have some form of identity. I think when you travel the world and you play, a rhythm or you play a song, or I'm playing a song that I've produced, whoever is listening to it, I want them to have an idea that, oh, this is where he's from. So whether it's, the shakers that are being used or the palogo drums or, the gong gong or, traditional ways in which you play the guitar and stuff. You just want those kind of like elements to stick out and then people are like, oh, this guy must be from Ghana. I'm all about identity. And if I want to be a bit more experimental, then I tap into a lot more African sounds. Whether it's the low drum or whether it's certain hi-hats or certain percussion that you're going to use. I like to explore those and just make sure that I have a solid identity about, where I'm from and what my music is about. I could sit down for hours and hours making beats. But as I'm doing that, I'm creating music with a theme in my head. So you have to create that theme, right? And figure out what the journey or the message is going to be. And yeah, it's all kind of like a process, and obviously being present as well, people knowing who you are, which is something that I shied away from for a while. But yeah, that's my answer. Yeah. I don't really look for anything specifically. I think, if the stars align, then it's made to be, it's made to be. There obviously are my targets I'd love to, work with. But I don't just literally go out and say, okay, I'm planning this and I'm planning that. As long as the music sounds great, then I'm good. I guess in terms of the process of making the music, everybody in the room just needs to be respectful to each other. It could be the littlest things. It could be the smallest things. It could be water. Want to give the person water. Give the person a drink. Oh, are you hungry? Have a conversation with the person. How's your day going? What are you up to? This is that. You build a vibe. It's not just about, we're just here to do the music. Oh, we've done the record. All right, see you, bye. No. I like to build relationships and keep them. Because you just never know when you guys are going to need each other in the future, Yeah, man.
Juls Baby.
There have been a few. I want to say my sessions with One Day Cole, because they've just been fun. One Day Cole is one of the funniest people ever. He always likes to tease people. And he always just likes to laugh. Very emotional person as well in terms of feeling, in terms of caring about people. And then when we're making music, it's literally like freestyle and play by this. So we have about 30, 40 plus freestyle sessions with melodies that he's done, that when he's ready to record them, I'm here. But yeah, definitely One Day Cole for sure. I was in the studio, I hope I'm pronouncing it right. Ochungulu family. One Tender Wheelie. Yes, I had a session with them. Incredible. Zinia Manasseh, Shopper, Ma from Nowhere, Maya. But I do have a lot of extensive, friends out here that are musicians as well. I've been introduced to some new ones as well since I've come here. Sound is very interesting, it's fresh. I really like the Arbitone type vibe. I guess because I'm a dancehall fan, so I gravitate towards that. But yeah, I've enjoyed, my experiences so far for sure. Like every session has had a different vibe, a different feeling, a different timing. Everybody's energy was, up at the time. But yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure. Yeah. I think how I present to my career is in the form of being an artist, right? So DJing, creating my own events, and then recently doing live performances as well. So that's kind of like how I uplift, the brand, presenting myself as a conductor, presenting myself as a chief curator in events as well. And it also gives me the ability to sharpen my skills as well, especially with DJing, because I don't have a DJ set up at home. So when I'm touching decks, it's probably when I've been booked for something or I'm doing a sound check or whatever. But yeah. Well, every single award show, not even just African award shows, kind of like just sidetrack the producers, all the time. Sometimes the producers don't even get mentioned, but if I guarantee all producers were wiped off the face of the earth today, you guys are just going to be singing to silence, or probably a piano or something. I mean, imagine drill with piano and there's no drums. It would sound weird. But, what I always urge other producers to do is just continue to build your craft and stay focused on, all of that stuff. I don't think that watching anybody else even, helps the situation at all. It's just kind of like building your craft. Yeah, man. Sounds of My World was a body of work that I had been working on for about 2 years from the pandemic times. And I wanted to make an album which was very eclectic. The same with Peace and Love that I dropped last year. Make it as eclectic and a bit more vibrant and a mix of different cultures. So on Sounds of My World we have Caribbeans, we have Nigerians, we have Portuguese, we have people rapping in English. Same with Peace and Love. Just bringing different cultures together. That's my aim. Unity and diversity, and just bringing different cultures together to understand what's happening. So I could have a party and I'm going to play Brazilian music, but you guys need to understand why I'm playing Brazilian music and the ties that it has with Africa. And even if it doesn't say much, it's triggering your mind to go and ask more questions. So, yeah.
She tell me the hip switch when the drum hits, so I get that.
Don't really balance it. I think my trips abroad, I just treat them the same way that I would do shows back home or in Africa. I think the music has traveled so far and wide that people are tapping into Afro beats and doing your own versions and whatnot. But I'm not able to do it with the right source or the right blend. So the whole diaspora versus this type of thing, not really, I don't really speak about it much. But I will say though that the diaspora has been one of the key factors in being able to make the genre spread across the world because of the various cultures that are displaced in different parts of the world, whether it's the States or Canada or Europe or Australia. So, yeah. I want to say bold. I think despite a lot of our circumstances, we're very, bold people in the sense that we just deal with things, and whether it's good or bad, we'll find a way of dealing with it without bringing any sort of drama or situation into the room. To me, Ghana is one of the most beautiful places in the world. If you've ever been, the hospitality, is great. Except that sometimes the food takes too long to come. We love to have a good time. We love to party. I feel like Ghana is the equivalent of Kenya from an East African perspective. The nature and how everybody is kind of like very, very similar. And that's why I like Nairobi a lot. But I'm also trying to explore different parts of Kenya soon, going to the coast and all of that stuff. So yeah, man. Trying to know all my secrets, bro. Just doing a lot of reading, a lot of research, a lot of the playlists that I have. I'm always digging deep into certain sounds. Where's this sound from? Is this a Detroit sound? Is this a Chicago house sound? Then I just dig deep into a lot more of the catalog from different people, what it sounds like, and kind of like picture how it looks like when you play a record like that to thousands and thousands of people. Because you want to make music to be able to get the party jumping. Or at least that's what I'm trying to do moving forward. So, yeah. I'm still listening to my old playlists. There are a few new artists that I really, really, mess with and are doing amazing things. But I think for me personally, musically as well, I'm in a place where I'm figuring it out, but I want to make record style for the dance floor. So yeah. Dream project. Nah. But I hope to drop one next year though. I just have to figure out how I'm trying to do it. But now it's not a surprise anymore. It's out the bag, so everybody knows. But yeah, next year for sure I'm trying to do something different. But I'm trying to make people dance a bit more. Do you know what I mean? So yeah.
Wicked. Mad.
I don't know, you know. The awards and everything are cool, but then I don't know. You have to come back to me on that one. I haven't really thought about that before. I think I'm just rolling with the punches and then see what happens. To me.
I don't even blame her. Yeah, I know how it be. See, no stress car when she.
I think I've always been known to make amazing music, regardless. Everybody knows this. I just need to find a new way of how I'm going to, I guess, go about how I want my career to be. And being a bit more eclectic in the music that I make, not being necessarily the traditional stuff that people hear all the time. And when I put this music, I want to be able to tell like proper stories about, you know, the music that they're hearing. I've been shooting this documentary for about 2 years. The first episode comes out in June. We're doing a screening and everything. We want to put it for festivals. I want to see how that goes. And then who knows, maybe I'll be, you know, in film scoring something crazy, you know, and that's what the big bucks are. And that's what kind of like we look forward to. And yeah, man. Yeah. Alright, let's do it. It was called Ashanti. I can't remember the name of the sample, but Jay-Z sampled the same record as well. Of one of his albums, American Gangster. The song's called Sweet. And I remember when the album came out and I heard the sample, I was like, oh man, Jay-Z's, he's stolen my shit. That was my thinking. So I wasn't really happy about that. But yeah, that was my first beat that I could start playing to people. I think when I started making beats in uni, a lot of people knew I was making beats because they always saw me on my laptop with my headphones messing around. So, but yeah, that was my first beat. Deeply personal. I want to say it's a record I have of my LP called Leap of Faith. There's a song called My Wave. It's personal because that was the last song that was made on that project, and I really wanted it to be on there. So I was doing everything I could to make sure that the record was finished on time. And real Juls fans know about that record. I barely play it when I'm doing my DJ sets though, which is interesting, but yeah, that's a personal record that, you know, I love pretty much. Ghana Jollof, next question. I'd love to do something with Kendrick Lamar one day. I think that would be fine. I think Gonda, maybe Biggie Smalls or Bob Marley. Yeah. Yeah. I'm actually quite funny still. People think I'm just really this quiet, chill guy who is just an introvert and he just comes to play and then goes home. But I'm actually a joker. And, you know, I like making friends. I like, you know, making people feel comfortable. Just like everybody to have kind of like a good time. And yeah, man, I'm also a big fan of Lego. People think that's for kids, but it's actually not. It's very stimulating and good for the brain. And I've got a massive Lego collection. So many boxes that I haven't even opened yet. So, yeah. I mean, now that you asked, everybody knows now. So, yeah. The greatest of all time.
Coming through, thank you for gracing Kenya with your presence.
Thank you for having me as well.
Yeah, we pray that you will get more strength to push African music globally.
Amen.
Yeah. So all the best in the future endeavors.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Asante sana.
Situations this